going here? See? I have to keep this a surprise so you don't see what it is. This is a gift from Nikki. Thank you, Nikki.
Ah, nice.
Oh.
Nikki.
It's a map of Portugal.
That's right.
Anyways, Kenny, how was the show tonight?
It was fun. It was fun. I let myself get a little bit looser with the audience than normal, and I think I'm going to try and do it some more. It's difficult, you know. Some nights you just don't feel like going out there. Tonight was not one of those.
I understand you had a little bit of laryngitis.
No, not so much laryngitis as just a head cold. It's I've had a cold for about a week and a half. It went into my chest a few days ago.
Yeah.
And it takes me about an hour to warm up before the show now. And sometimes you've got it, sometimes the voice will kick in and work, and sometimes it just won't kick in no matter how long I warm up.
Well, you sounded in fine voice tonight.
Thank you, thank you. It felt pretty strong.
How do you warm up for something like that?
You start singing about an hour before the show, and you just sing avoid the high notes, and just go and go and go, and then gradually work up to the high notes once it gets looser and looser. And then I sing for about 15 minutes in just falsetto, so that I can clear out the falsetto.
I think the song that you're probably best known for so far, This Is It, hasn't really topped off yet, but it's Whenever I Call You Friend. Now, how did you come up with Stevie Nicks on backup vocals with you?
Who? I found her in another band. And,
just a little band.
Yeah,
sort of kicking around.
They
the
were
LA
kicking
scene.
around the LA scene, right? Just a new wave kind of English type act. Yeah, Stevie and Fleetwood Mac was an opening act for Loggins and Messina. And then later on, after I finished Celebrate Me Home, excuse me, I was an opening act for Fleetwood Mac for a few months. We saw 15 to 30,000 people a day. And I think that's probably the main thing that broke me as a solo artist.
That had to be an incredible high, playing for all those people night after night after night.
The difficulty was that my audience is not normally, and never has been, young boys. And the first 30 rows of Fleetwood Mac's audience is young boys waiting for Stevie.
And Christine.
And Christine. But, you know, my audience is usually more aggressive young girls. And their audience is aggressive young boys, and those dudes can be aggressive. And so I had to learn during that period. It was good for me. I had to learn to project my performance beyond 30 rows and ignore the hecklers. And gradually, you know, by the end of the show, we'd win them over. But they weren't, you know, they were very impatient. They wanted Stevie, and that was about it.
So where did Stevie come into the picture with Whenever I Call You Friend?
Stevie and I talked about someday doing a tune together. And then I had the melody in my back pocket. And I met with Melissa Manchester one night, and we started working on the lyrics. And I have a lot of respect for Melissa's voice and her talent, too. But I felt as the tune came together that night, I felt more and more that that was the song that Stevie and I had been waiting for. So we went ahead on it, and Stevie came over, and Stevie and I worked up the tune, and I knew that it was right, so.
This Is It, your latest hit single, was co-written by Mike McDonald. Was he sort of paying you back for What a Fool Believes?
No. What a Fool Believes was co-written as well, and I had the tune on my record about a month before they came out with theirs, but I came with Whenever I Call You Friend, and they came out with What a Fool Believes. And What a Fool Believes was going to be my second single, but they'd scooped me so badly on it already, and it was already becoming a big hit for them. I felt that it would be suicidal to compete, so I came with a different tune for a second single. But then with This Is It, we wrote the tune. And I realized, in recording What a Fool Believes, I realized that Michael's presence was missed on my version, because he had it, we wrote it on the piano, and he plays the piano, I play guitar. He had it in his hands. And when I tried to show it to the guys in my band, they never quite got a hold of the groove. They never quite understood what that groove was, the way he had it. So I felt this time that, and from now on, as a matter of fact, anything that we write together where it's in his hands on the piano, I'd like him to play it on the record so that the guys in the band, seeing obviously with a song like This Is It, how the song works and is a hit record, the guys in the band then automatically feel, when they feel him playing it and he and I singing it together, they know exactly where the groove sits and they can go right with it. and it helps a lot, so that's why he played on this one.
What sort of personal relationship do you have with Mike? Are you together enough that you can carry on as friends, or are you just sort of compatriots?
We're friends, I believe. Our friendship has been growing now over the last couple of years. We came together originally to write, and I think that it probably doesn't hurt to have two for two, but I feel very close to him as a person, too, and I'd like to see our friendship grow whether we ever write another tune together or not.
Personally, how do you see Keep the Fire as opposed to Night Watch? Do you like it better, or do you think it's a better artistic achievement?
No, I personally can't judge my albums one way or the other on that level. The only level that I can judge it on is lyrically, mostly. That Keep the Fire is more present tense for me than Night Watch. Night Watch has more material from fantasy, and Keep the Fire has more material from my life. Emotions, dealing with people that I know, things that I've gone through, statements. Sometimes I think if I were to critique my own albums, I would say that my lyrics are too vague, because I've been criticized. When they criticize me, I've been criticized for being lightweight in lyrical concepts, or in lyrical content, rather. And I think the problem is because they don't understand what it is I'm trying to say. For example, a song like This Is It was criticized as being your average boy loses girl song. And it's not that at all. I didn't have that idea in it at all. When Michael and I wrote the tune, the song was lyrically about my dad. And in fact, although I didn't want to say dad, or anything like that, it was the relationship of he had to go into the hospital for major surgery. And it was a life and death situation. And he hadn't accepted the concept of life. He'd only accepted, he had expected to die. As I imagine, and many people who go into a situation like that, they accept death. They say, well, I'll probably die, and so what the hell, And it seems like that's sometimes easier to get a hold of, easier to accept than having to work your butt off to live. In other words, committing yourself to changing your diet, changing your life, dropping alcohol, dropping smoking, whatever it takes in order to enhance your chances of survival. He and I had a big fight over that one day. And the next day, Michael McDonald and I were getting together to finish the tune. We'd been struggling with the lyrics on This Is It for a long time. We had two lines. I've been wondering why, which we both felt was an important line. And you think that maybe it's over, only if you want it to be. Well, after having the fight with my father about his approach to the operation, I realized what that line meant. And we started writing the tune from the concept of survival and a commitment to life. And as soon as I explained it to Michael, he grabbed a hold of it too, and it took us only about a half an hour to finish the tune. It all fell into place from that point on. So, like I say, if I'm to be criticized, I would criticize me for being too vague with my concepts. A song like Will It Last, about finding a relationship, finding yourself within a relationship instead of having to run from your relationship, which is very popular to do today. A lot of people miss that. So, whatever.
Are you happy with what you've done over the last years?
Yeah. I think the last few years have been real good for me. After I left Jimmy, even I got married right after that, and it was like starting my life over. And it was really exciting. It was a lot of fun. And has been.
Coming up on the new music, Tony Bird and Queen.